Welcome back. So you had your intro to the coordinate plane. So this is going to be a brief review of slope, because if we don't know how slope is, we can't even begin to talk about making lines. So, what do you guys already know about slope? Well, I know that you can't answer me, of course, but a couple of things they said in class were that slope has to do with lines. Someone told me rise over run. Another student mentioned that it was the same thing as rate of change. Another person referred to it as steepness. And another person even said y equals mx plus b, where this little fella right here is our slope. So our essential question is, what is slope and how can I describe it? So slope is going to be the steepness of a line, or I like to say rate of change because that'll really help us. And we can describe it as positive, negative, 0, or undefined. We're going to talk about what all that means in this video. Okay, so in class, I had them write their definition. So whenever you think of slope, I want you to write down what you think right here. So I'm going to leave that one blank, and I'm going to you may put your personal answer. Here, we wrote down what the book gives us, our rational definition from the glossary. So let's talk about that. That's going to be the ratio of the vertical change to the horizontal change. So we're going to be looking at it like this. Slope equals vertical, which is our change in y, over horizontal. It would have changed, so we need to extend that just a little. Change, which is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. If you can hear my kitty in the background playing with his toy, I apologize. Alrighty. So if you need to pause to write that down, that's fine, but we're going to keep going. So there are 4 ways to really describe slope. We can call slope positive. Positive means that a line is increasing. So if we have our x and our y axis like this, and we draw us a line, we always read lines from left to right. We have a line that is increasing. Our negative slope means that we have a line that is decreasing. So we draw our y, we draw our x, and then our line is decreasing, which means we have which means we have a negative slope. So if our slope is 0, that means it's not going up. It's not going up. So this type of lawn is going to be one that is horizontal. So this is a horizontal lawn. That's our x and our y-axis. And if I was to draw a line like this with arrows at the end, this axis would keep going. That would be an example of a 0 slope, just a horizontal line. And last but certainly never least is our undefined, meaning that we would have to divide by 0, so we wouldn't have a left or right. The line wouldn't be going left or right. So this is going to be a vertical line. So if we have our y and our x, then we have a line that looks like this. It's vertical. Notice it doesn't move left or right. It only goes up and down forever. Alright, so these are different types of slope. If I asked you to describe the slope of the line, you would tell me positive, negative, 0, undefined. So you could just remember them like that, remember it using this graph here, or someone who helps me remember my slopes are Mr. Slope Guy. So notice on the next page it asks you the question, have you met Mr. Slope Guy? So let's draw a circle for his head. So we draw a circle for Mr. Slope Guy's head. Okay? So Mr. Slope Guy, he has a line that's increasing for his eyebrows, and he has a plus symbol for his first eye. He has an eyebrow that's decreasing for his second one, and a minus sign for his eye. Okay? Then for his nose, he's got a line that just goes down, a vertical line, and he has a big U there to help us out. And then above there, we have a little itty bitty X. He has a little scar above his nose. That looks like an X. Okay, and then finally, he doesn't smile a lot, so he's got a solemn face, just a vertical line, with some little zeros as freckles, and a little beard that looks like a Y. So this is Mr. Slope Guy. Let me explain how he works. If you have a line that is increasing, you know your slope is positive. If you have a line that is decreasing, you know your slope is negative. If you have a vertical line, your slope is undefined, and it'll be x equals some number. If you have a horizontal line, your slope is 0, and it'll be y equals some number. So Mr. Slope Guy is just another way or visualization besides the chart that I gave you over there to help you remember the different types of slope. So let's just jump right in. Describe the slope of the following graphs. So all I'm asking is, what's the slope? What type of slope is it? Well, this first one, I would say that this first one, we'll look at it, it's increasing. So this is a positive slope because increasing. Okay, let's take a look at our second one. Well, let's take a look at it. It's a horizontal line, so it will be a 0 slope because horizontal line. Alrighty. Let's move this up just a little bit. Okay, so now we have a line that's decreasing. So this is going to be a negative slope because decreasing. Okay, and last but certainly not least, we have a vertical line. So this would be an undefined slope. Because it's a vertical line. So, one of the things that could easily help you when solving problems is just knowing what type of slope is it from looking at it. At this point, we don't know a number to actually tell us what's going on, but we do know that it needs to be positive if it's increasing, negative if it's decreasing, 0 if it's a horizontal line, and if it's vertical, we don't have a slope, it's undefined. Alright. So, how do we find the slope from these graphs then? We know this one's going to be positive, sure, but how do we find the slope? Well, you guys, we're going to have to do something called rise over run. So, m equals rise over run. We're going to look at the x's, we're going to look at the y's. Before we do anything else, I want to introduce you to our slope compass to help us out. If we are going up, then we are positive. If we are going to the right, then we are positive. If we're going down, we're negative. To the left, we're negative. So keep that guy in mind. Now, the first thing to do when doing rise over run is, well, we got to pick 2 points that are on the line. So 0, 0 is an obvious point on our line, and 2, 2 is another obvious point on our line. Before we go ahead and do this, I want to caution you, when choosing points on the line, you want to choose points that we know are exact. So let me write that here. Caution. Choose points that are whole numbers, which means in class someone said corner of the box. So what they mean by that is, notice here that each little box, there's one there, choose it on the corner. This here, this is one of the corners. So it needs to be one of the corners of the box for it to be a whole number. Alrighty. So remember it tells us to rise. So we're going to go up 1, up 2. So we went up 2, and then we went over 1, 2. So 2. So our m is equal to our rise, which was 2, over our run, which was also 2. So this is a 1. Always, always, always simplify your slope. Okay, let's take a look at our second one down here. On our second one down here, we use the same rule of rise over run. So m equals rise, which is the y's over the run. Okay, we need to pick 2 points. Well, let's choose this point right here, because it's very much on the edge. So that is about -4, -1. PJ, leave it alone. And then 3, -3. -3, -3. So we chose 2 points on our line. We made sure they were both on an edge. So now we need to do our rise over our run. So we're going to go, this time we have to go down. So we're going to go down 1, 2. So we went down 2, so this is a -2. So m is equal to, our rise is a -2. Over our run, 1, 2, 3. So we ran over 3, but remember, we went to the right, so this is a +3. So this is over 3. -2 over 3 cannot be simplified, so our slope is -2 over 3. Alrighty. Let's try another one. This time around, we got us a vertical line. We know that this means that we have an undefined slope, but let's see why. And that one. Remember that overrun. So if we were to rise up, we would go 1, 2. So, well, did we run anywhere? We never run anywhere. There is no run. So that would be a 0. We cannot divide by 0. By 0. We have undefined. Okay. And I'll go ahead and put that 2 there to let us know we went up 2. Alright, so same thing here. We already know 0, but let's talk about why. So we have m equals rise over run. Pick 2 points. Notice that our points have been chosen. So m equals rise. Well, we don't go up or down any, so that's a 0. Over, well, we go over 1, 2, 3. So 0 over 3. Remember, we must always simplify. So that gives us an m of 0. That gray is not a pretty color, so I'm going to fill it in with an orange. So this is how we find the slope when given a line on the graph. And we don't just want to know what type of slope, we want to know what is the slope in our number format. Alright. Notice it says to go back and try to name the slopes from number 1. So let's go do that. Well, for this one here and this one here, we don't have to do anything. They've already been named for us. But for these guys, we can find the slope. So we gotta pick 2 points on this one. We've gotta pick, I would always pick the one here, and then we gotta pick, let's do 5, 5. There. Well, remember, rise over run. So we're gonna go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, it's not 5, it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotta be very careful. Over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our slope is 4 over 5. Alrighty. Now let's take a look at our last one down here. So we're going to pick 2 points on it. So let's choose this one here. And like I said, it doesn't matter which points you choose, as long as you remember your rise over your run. So m equals, well, we're going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. We're going down 5. And because we went down, it has to be negative. And then we're going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going over 5. So we get a negative 5 over 5, which has to simplify to negative 1. And we would expect our slope to come out as a negative number because we know since it's decreasing, it's negative. Just like up here, we'd expect it to be a negative or a positive number because it's increasing. All right. Well, what if you aren't given a point? You're just given points and you're not given a graph. And they're like, hey, what's the slope? In class, we watched a video If you want to watch the video, you're welcome to go to that beautiful link right there. But this is our formula. Rise over run. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's do a couple of examples. What is the slope of a line that crosses through the points 0, 2, and 5, 6? So what I'm going to do is rewrite our points 0, 2, 5, 6. These, it doesn't matter, I'm going to tell you again, it doesn't matter which point you start with, but you've got to stick with it. So I'm going to let this one be my y2, this one be my y1, and I'm going to if I let this be my y2, then this has to be my x2, and this has to be my x1. Okay. So first things first, our beautiful formula, we rewrite it because we're still learning it. So m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So now we're going to plug in what we know. Well, we have 6 minus 2 over 5 minus 0. All that's left to do now is simplify. So 6 minus 2 is 4. And 5 minus 0 is 5. So we are left with our slope of 4 over 5. I won't color code every time, I just wanted to color code for this first one. But that's how we do it. Let's go try another one. And we're almost done, I promise. We're given a -1 and a -2 and a 3, 4, and we need to find the slope. So again, I'm going to write down the slope of the lines. So -1, -2, 3, and 4. Our slope formula, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So, do the first one. We're going to end up with 4 minus -2. So remember, if they are negative, we need to put them in parentheses. We need to know that that's a -2 that we're subtracting. This minus doesn't go away. It's not part of our original. Over 3 minus -1. So now we simplify. Well, 4 minus -2 becomes 4 plus 2, which is 6. 3 minus -1 becomes 4, so 3 plus 1 is 4. Remember, 6 over 4 is not as simple as it can get, so 3 over 2 is our slope. Alright. Usually I don't do the show your learnings, but since this is a skill that we didn't have too much to do anyway, let's do it together. So we have 3 and 1, 0, and -3. We are going to start with our y's. So m equals y2 minus y1 over x minus x1. Well, then we have our -3 minus 1 over, we have to do the same one, so 0 minus 3. So what we end up with is -3 minus 1 is equal to -4. 0 minus 3 is -3. If we have a negative and a negative, this automatically becomes a positive 4 over. Alrighty. And let's try one more, and then we're going to call it a fun time. We've had a great time of learning. So, -1, -5, and 4, -2. And my pen is kind of going out there, so I'm going to change the colors just for that reason. So, we start with the first one. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x, which is equal to -2 minus -5 in parentheses here. And 4 minus -1. So then when we simplify, -2 minus a -5 is going to become -2 plus 5, which would become a +3. And then 4 minus a -1 will become 4 plus 1, which is 5. So our slope is 3/5. Alright. I hope this was a fun little intro to slope. It should have been a little bit of a review from middle school. So enjoy, and I will see you when I come back next time.